Thanks for your interest. This is Video 2, a description of the proposed projects and evaluation of alternatives. The FAA prepared a draft environmental assessment and draft general conformity determination to evaluate changes to O'Hare International Airport proposed by the City of Chicago Department of Aviation. The changes involve terminal projects, on-airport non-aeronautical projects like hotel developments, airfield and taxiway improvements, and support facilities. In addition, the FAA is proposing to permanently implement offset approach procedures at O'Hare for runway 10 right, 28 left. In other words, these are slightly angled flight approaches. The entire proposal can be organized into 5 groups: terminal projects, on-airport hotels, airfield and taxiway improvements that are not required by the terminal projects, support facilities that are not required by the terminal projects, and air traffic actions for offset approach procedures on runway 10 right, 28 left. This is a depiction of the current O'Hare terminal configuration. It shows terminals 1, 2, and 3, and International Terminal 5. Improvement projects are proposed to areas throughout the terminals and the airfield. Numerous projects are proposed for the terminal area. They include construction of the new O'Hare Global Terminal and Concourse, construction of the new Satellite 1 Concourse, construction of the new Satellite 2 Concourse, expansion of the Terminal 1 Concourse, an addition to the Terminal 3 Concourse L Stinger, construction of a consolidated baggage, pedestrian, and moving walkway tunnel, extension of taxiways K and L, construction of new taxiways north of Satellite 2, modifications to taxiways H and J, and the reconfiguration of taxiways A and B. Also, here are 2 temporary terminal area proposals: a temporary walkway and extended jetway from Concourse C, and a temporary heating and refrigeration facility. Projects planned for Terminal 5 include a curbside addition and an interior reconfiguration of the terminal, roadway improvements, a curbside expansion, and construction of a parking garage. There are 2 proposed on-airport hotels. One hotel will be built near Terminal 5, and the other project is a new hotel on Mannheim Road near the multimodal facility. It will include possibilities for retail or dining developments. The proposal includes airfield and taxiway improvements that are not required by the terminal projects. They include conversion of a vehicle parking area to an aircraft hold pad, expansion of the runway 28 right blast pad, reconfiguration of taxiways P, V, and Y, demolition of taxiway T, and taxiway DD realignment. And within this project group, there is the proposed construction of additional exit taxiways near runway 9 left, 27 right. There also are a number of support facilities to be improved that are independent from the terminal projects. A new airside service roadway is proposed, and there is a planned expansion of the commercial vehicle holding area. In the northwest corner of the airport, the project proposes to move Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting Station 4 to a new location. On the west side of the airport, there would be a number of additions, including a new heating and refrigeration facility, an employee security screening facility, an employee ground transportation facility and parking garage, a landside access point for airport employees, construction of new landside detention basins, new airside service roadways, and a centralized distribution and receiving facility. Above and beyond the airfield, there also is an air traffic proposal that would make permanent the previously approved offset approaches to runway 10 right, 28 left. The current air traffic procedure allows for simultaneous approaches to 3 runways and allows for future simultaneous approaches to 4 runways. These procedures had been approved previously for temporary use, and the proposal would seek to make them permanent. In the east flow configuration, the proposal makes the air traffic procedure permanent that allows for a 2.5-degree offset or slightly angled approach for arrivals to runway 10 right. The offset occurs when flights are flying westward and after some of them turn to the east to make the final approach to runway 10 right. If the procedure is not made permanent, air traffic would revert to the previous procedures. Arrivals to runway 10 right could not be made at the same time as arrivals to runway 10 center. This would lower the arrival rate and increase flight delays at the airport. In the west flow configuration, the proposal makes the air traffic procedure permanent that allows for a 2.5-degree offset or slightly angled approach for arrivals to runway 28 left. The offset occurs when flights are flying eastward and after they turn to the west to make a final approach to runway 28 left. If the procedure is not made permanent, air traffic would revert to the previous procedures. Arrivals to runway 28 left could not be made at the same time as arrivals to runway 28 center. This would lower the arrival rate and increase flight delays at the airport. During the scoping process, the FAA also solicited alternative ideas from stakeholders and evaluated the alternatives, including the proposed projects. Additionally, the FAA identified alternatives that would meet the airport's needs and avoid or minimize impacts. For the proposed terminal buildings and infrastructure, the FAA considered a no-action option without the proposed projects. The proposed projects, design variations to the proposed projects, and other modes of transportation that involves demand management. No additional alternatives were received during scoping. For the proposed airfield and taxiway improvements, the support facilities, and the hotels, the FAA considered a no-action option without the proposed projects and the proposed projects. No additional alternatives were received during scoping. And for the air traffic actions, the FAA also considered a no-action option without the proposed procedures or actions. The proposed procedures and actions. No additional alternatives were received during scoping. The environmental assessment also studied conditions in 3 time periods: the existing condition, which is before the proposed projects begin, an interim year, and the year after the proposed project would be completed. Within its assessment, the FAA studied these environmental aspects: air quality, climate, noise, and noise-compatible land use, historical, architectural, archaeological, and cultural resources. Department of Transportation Act Section 4F, biological resources, light emissions and visual impacts, hazardous materials, solid waste, and pollution prevention, natural resources and energy supply, socioeconomics, environmental justice, and children's environmental health and safety risks, surface transportation and parking, water resources, irreversible and irretrievable commitment of resources, and cumulative impacts. Next is Video 3, Summary of Potential Impacts from the Proposed Action Alternative.